me. That would be awesome if you can let me know. Hi. Okay, let's see if I could make the writing bigger. Somehow with my laptop, when you chat in the box, I cannot see it big. Okay, awesome. Yes, yes, yes. Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome. This is great. I'm happy to have everybody here today to watch my Glam It Up webinar. I hope everyone's doing well. And I hope everybody's, dealing well with the pandemic going on. I know there's a lot of states or even here in Canada, provinces that we have to re-shut down again. So I hope everybody and their family and their businesses are all doing well. So I'll give it about another minute just to get, we had a pretty good registration amount today. So I just want to make sure that everybody gets to make it on time before we start the presentation. So I hope everyone's doing well. Nail Depot is on. Welcome. Nail Depot. Sorry, I can't read the names properly because it's pretty small and I want to make my shout outs. I don't want to call you the wrong name. But I see some names. I see Crystal, Eva, Shelly. Hello, hello. Perfect. Everybody can see and hear me. That's awesome. That's what we need so that we can go on with the presentation. So I'll wait another minute, but today's webinar is a little bit different than what I usually do. Usually my other webinars, I have this like big presentation to do the theory portion. And we spend a lot of time on that because theory is very, very important so that we understand the protocols. And then I go into the demo. But today for the Glam It Up, I'm assuming that a lot of you that are attending today already are using Reflectacil, but we want to see how you can make the most out of Reflectacil using all the services that Reflectacil has to offer, not just tinting, because as we see right now, the new norm with our masks, it's going to be with us for a while, and our eyes are being emphasized a lot, much more, right? That's a central feature that it was before, but now that's all we see. So for the holidays, it's going to be that glam look that's going to bring that attention to those eyes. So I just wanted to talk about the services that we can offer for Reflectacil and try to maximize and try to use as all those services to give that glam look. And then we can go into the demonstration, and at least we have some time as well to answer some questions, because I know towards the end of the webinar, because I tend to talk a lot and I tend to give a lot of information, that some of the questions get missed out. So hopefully I want to be able to answer the majority of the questions today. Okay, so perfect. So I think we still have more coming in. Hello, hello, hello. Sorry, I missed a lot of hellos. Hi, Renee. If you type your name in, I can see it better than the little small one that is on the top. So if you say hello and your name, oh, that's awesome. I can make my shout outs. Felicia, welcome, Felicia. Did I say that right? Philia or Philia? Yeah. Amy from Spot On Beauty. Welcome, Amy. Glad to have you. And Simona. Oh, thank you guys for putting your names. I got to figure this out and be able to see your actual names when you're asking the question as well. So, hi, Mandy, Monica. So I think it's Philia. Justine from Clinispa. Welcome. Solani here. Welcome, welcome. Sandra. Bonjour. We have our French people. Sophia. Welcome, Sophia. Sarah from Opal Day Spa. Michelle, Nova Luna Salon, welcome. Helen from Aveda. I remember when I was in college, very, very long, many years ago, I wanted to work for Aveda. Hello, Grace. Kim Lee, welcome. Oh, someone's having audio issues. If you're having audio issues, just make sure you check your settings of your microphone. It could be muted. Unmute it and put it to the highest volume. If you're still having issues, just exit from the link and re-enter the link again. But I know that she probably can't hear that, so hopefully she gets her audio issues back. Prism Hair Design from I always have a hard time saying that, but is that in BC or is that in Alberta? It's in Canada for sure. Hello, Andrew, Christina, Sheila, Shailene, Fran from Hello from Francisco. Is that from or is that Fran? That's Fran. Hello from Hello Gorgeous Beauty Studio in Guelph. Welcome. Okay, got it. The person got there. Awesome. You can hear me now. Um, the question about the purchase of the perm solution, the solutions in Intercosmetics, just try and check with them because we did have a back order on the solutions. So even I had a hard time for my last webinar to even have a solution. So for the lash perm and neutralizer, so just check in once again with the distributor. They might be in back order or they might have received their order, but check in with them. Okay. Calgary, Fly Metaspa. Yes, BC. Okay, I thought it was in BC. Monica, is that Monica? Okay. Makeup to go. Hello from Makeup to go. Awesome. There we go. We're getting our full attendees. This is awesome. Okay, so thank you, thank you. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start the presentation because Azalfa, hello, because I want to be able to answer all your questions. So maybe we can have a little bit of a period after I finish the presentation. It's a really short presentation, so it's not like how I do them before. And after that, maybe we can spend about 10 minutes on questions, and then we can get into the demo because today on my model, I'm going to show you all of it. We're going to show you a lift, a lash tint, a brow lift, and a brow tint. All you have to do is add to that equation a brow shaping, and you've given that whole makeover for that for your client to be ready for the holiday seasons. Okay, so we will spend a lot of time on the demo where I'll talk about the steps instead of showing them in the presentation. I can't see you on full screen. I can't put you on full screen because then you will lose the presentation. So you can see me in that little small box on the right-hand corner. If I put myself bigger, we're going to lose, maybe if I try like this. Is that better? Maybe that's better. So let me know if that's better. Okay, lucky her. Okay, Sherry from Escape in Saskatchewan. Okay, perfect. So I can make it slightly bigger, the screen, and then we can still see the presentation. Perfect. So once again, thank you and welcome everyone to the webinar today. I really appreciate everybody's support on these webinars, and I hope you do enjoy them. I know I see a lot of names of people who have been in the past webinars and keep coming back just to make their Reflectisol expertise even much more better, for reminders. So I'm really happy to have everyone here attending and supporting the Reflectisol webinars with CB1 Group. So let's get started. Yes, it is going to be recorded and it's going to be put up on our YouTube channel as well as on our education website. So if you have to leave earlier, you'll be able to watch this, but hopefully we'll get you before you leave if you have any questions to ask. Okay, so as you see from the presentation, glam it up, try to glam it up a little bit, have some bling bling going on. I have my mask all blinged up as well. So I tried to give it a little theme. You can't see the back of my room, but I have some lights up as well, just to give it that holiday-ish theme. So let's, oh, so people are jealous that they wish they were models. Sorry, Renee, you're too far away. Next time you visit Canada, you can be my model for it all. Okay, so let's start with the presentation here. And once again, as I mentioned, it's very, very simple. And I just wanted to start off with talking about what are going to be our 2020 beauty holiday trends that we're going to see getting ready for the holidays. So we see here in this slide here that we're going to have a lot more emphasis on the eye. So especially for the holiday seasons where we think of glitz and glam, we think of sparkles, we think of these iridescent hues that they change color as it hits certain lights. These are going, or certain angles, these are going to be very popular. And why not? When now we have the masks on, maybe our favorite lipstick is going to be covered, so we don't have that glam look from the lipstick, but we can glam up the eyes. Lash extensions, we know they have been and always will be something that is going to be a trend for the holidays. Like the business will pick up for the holidays because the fuller volume, the thicker they are, the longer they are, gives you that glam look and ready for your celebrations. And especially with that special someone or your family. So, and then the third thing is the hair too. You know, our hair is what's framing our face and is going to be visible. So a little glam touch to the hair as well with some balayage going on, or even that blowout, keratin blowout to give that smooth, nice volumed look in the hair. I see a question. I'll try and answer the questions as well. Where Canada am I? I am in Ontario, and the city is Richmond Hill. So I'll try to see those questions. Awesome. So these are the trends that we're going to see happening for the holiday season that are going to be more amped, and they're going to be more services that are going to be requested. But now we want to get into the reflectacil. So since masks will be our new accessory this holiday, our main focus will be on the eyes and brows using reflectacil. Okay, and that's where we have this little lash and brow sign, the the glitz edition. I'm having a hard time saying that word today, even on my Instagram post. The glitz edition. Okay, so we see our clothing will also give us that holiday feel, but our brows and our eyes will amp that more. We don't just need sparkles on our clothing. We got to give sparkle to the eyes as well, that twinkle in the eyes when we do these reflectacil lash and brow services, and we put it all together. Okay. Welcome from Cambridge, Ontario. Been there. Okay. So now we go into our lash and brow tinting. So we know how much lash and brow tinting can transform our look and how it can unify our look, especially if we have a new hair color, but also if your client has these naturally fine or light colored hair. For the holidays, if they don't want to sit filling it in and spending so much time getting ready, they don't have that time to glam it up, they can get this tint of their lashes, the tint of their brows to emphasize and make them more darker and stand out. So that is a service that's going to be always in, but for the holiday season, people who were not thinking about these services before, but because now we're wearing masks, are going to be accessing these services, and they're going to be asking you. So you're probably going to see new clients coming into your salons and spa that were never doing these services before, but now can see the use of them because of our mask wearing and the focus being on the eyes. Even that lift, that lash lift that we do, gives that illusion of a lift, like an actual lift on your face, because everything's moving upwards and gives that freshness and lift to the skin as well, an illusion. So a lot more people are going to be seeking out these services with their mask wearing. How long do you recommend to leave the tint on? So the tint varies for your brows and your lashes. So for lashes, we want them as dark as possible. So nobody's gonna complain about that, unless they're a male clientele that wants just a little bit of like a brown if their lashes are light. But for lashes, it's usually 15 minutes, up to 15 minutes is your max, because if they're thicker, layered, you want to leave it full 15. But in 10 minutes, you should be okay with those fun, lighter lashes. If you're doing a lift on the lashes, it will be only 2 minutes. If you're doing a lift on the brows, the tint will be only 3 minutes. So because the hair follicle is open and it's been I forgot the word now. It's been processed, sorry, it's going to accept that color much faster. So you don't need to leave it the full max time after you've done a lift. So be mindful of that, because then you will be over processing the hair and leaving it on too long, or also making it way too dark for the client and they will freak out. And the last thing you want on a holiday, especially if maybe they're going to be spending it with a special someone or a date, you don't want them to not be happy with their brows. Okay, so the timing. If it's somebody that wants a more subtle look and just to be very natural, 3 to 5 minutes. But I always engage my customer into the processing time. When I reach that 3 minutes, if I'm saying 3 to 5, at 3, I will remove one brow and I will show it to them so that they can see, is this going the shade that you're okay with, the darkest that you're okay with? And if they're like, yeah, you can leave it longer, you have those 2 more minutes to play with to make that a max time of 5 minutes. But always remove one if you feel like your client is uncertain, or it's one of those clients that's very, oh no, it's gonna be too dark, it's going to be too dark, and they're panicking, because these services, they're supposed to be relaxed. They shouldn't have to panic for it. So engage them into it. If they want them much darker, or you have a clientele that their brows are much darker and they just need to fill in that depth, you could go from 5 to 10 minutes. Once again, you can leave it up to 15 minutes if you feel that that client really wants that dark look. But if you're working on, so this is for brows. So if you're working with red colors, those take a longer time to process. So your 3 minutes might be actually 5 minutes if you used red. So hopefully that makes sense. So 3 to 5 minutes for those clients that want more natural, 5 to 10 if they want a more darker look and more dramatic, up to 15. Lashes, 10 to 15 minutes. You don't want to leave a full 15 minutes on lashes that are very thin, because then once again, they'll take it very easily than thicker or layered lashes. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay, so now, so the simple and quick process will give your clients the lashes of their dreams, darkened lashes without need for mascara. So obviously for the holiday season, they're going to be amping it up with mascara. But if you have, once again, that client that wants the more natural look and they tint their lashes, it's going to look like they have mascara on. So they might opt out from using mascara. Especially if they did a lift as well, it will look like they have mascara on. Okay, so your video gets all glitzy when I switch to chat. Not quite sure why it's doing that. Have you tried to exit and come back in? I don't know if that's happening with other people as well when you're typing in the chat, but hopefully it will be okay. Okay, let me know if you're gonna exit and get back in, and if it worked out okay. Okay, for brows, your clients will cut down the time and hassle they go through to fill in their brows, whether it be with powders, pencils, or pomade gels. Once again, if they don't want to spend that time, then they're going to want to get that tinting done. I'm just going to see the question again. Sorry about this. A few times that solves it until I come back to chat. So I'll just stay off of it maybe. Oh, hopefully it works out for you okay. Sorry about that. But don't refrain from asking a chat, or save your questions when I'm done my presentation, so that way you don't feel like it gets all glitchy and you're missing out the information. Maybe save your questions for after I'm done, because I still want to be able to answer them for you. Okay. Okay, so barely there brows are not an option this holiday. No way, Jose. Okay, we want to emphasize those brows. Okay, so being able to give them depth and life will also be key to expressing happiness and surprise behind that mask. So our emotions are going to show even when we have those done up brows, because they're going to give that movement of what our expression is going to be: happy and so forth, excited or shocked or this or that. Okay. Then we don't want to just leave it at tinting. Double up, add on your services and for your clients, and give them something more to rave about, which is your lash lift and brow lamination. So don't just stop by tinting. If you're only doing tinting now, maybe try and see after the demonstration if there's something, a service that you might want to start bringing in. Because the lift, lash lift and brow lift, is something to rave about. The results that it gives excites your client. I don't know how many times I'm done with a model here that they come back to me and they're like, I can't believe how my lashes look. And I look at them, I'm like, wait, you put mascara on? It's been like 3 weeks later. And they're like, no, I didn't put any mascara on. So, and they're so happy because it brightens their look. And they wake up in the morning and not having to worry about applying anything, because they look done up. All they got to do is refresh their, wash their face, and they're all ready to go. So add these services, and for the holiday, try to get them that whole combo and get done everything on their lashes and their brows for them. So as I mentioned, we want to give them that twinkle in their eyes when they lift and they tint, and we want to give them those sky high and darkened lashes. That is a very sought out service. Not just lash extensions now. We see a lot of people maybe putting a hold on lash extensions, maybe even for the holidays. Some might put a hold and try a lift and a tint just to give a little bit of a break to their lashes, but they still want that emphasis and not sitting there putting so much layers of mascara on, or curling them with the mechanical curler, so they can get a lift and a tint done. Okay. Just a quick question. Is it glitching for everybody? Because I sometimes see on my top part of my um, platform where it's recording that sometimes it says the internet is unstable. So I hope everybody else is okay because that could be on my end. Oh, no glitching? Okay, awesome. It just caught my eye that it says sometimes no internet unstable. I'm like, oh shoot, that might be me. Okay, okay, awesome. Just double checking. Okay, so as we mentioned, the trend of 2020 and hit a big bang was the brow lamination. Okay, and we see all over social media everyone just raving and talking about their brows, how much thicker they can look, how much fluffier they can look, how they can fill up gaps and so forth. And to be able to achieve these three different looks. So we see here beautifully defined, full yet natural looking eyebrows without painful treatments or permanent makeup. So not everybody is equipped to get a microblading done. So what is another option for them? And that is brow lamination. Okay, so the microblading might be because it might be too expensive for them or they don't want to deal with the pain. I know I was a model once for microblading, and for me, the pain, I just couldn't take it. So now that I can do a brow lamination and give thickness to my brows as I'm losing a lot of hairs as I get older, I can do this non-invasive treatment and I'll enjoy having thick brows again. Okay, so here's three different looks. If you weren't aware that you can create three different looks, you have your soap brow. So your soap brow is more of, it begins to be that fluffy look, continues to be that fluffy look. Oh wait, I got them all mixed up. You know what? That's why I'm looking at the picture. So guys, boy, I don't know how I made that mistake. This first one here is your fluffy or feathered brow. So your soap brow is your last one. Okay, if you can see my mouse, I don't know if you can see it, but this is your soap brow. I got them mixed up. So just remember that. For the for the soap brow, you can see that the hairs are sticking up all from the beginning to the end. They're all giving that wild kind of effect. But then when you go to the laminated, so this is correct, when you go to the laminated brows, all the brows are pressed down in that almost uniformed direction and more pressed down, which maybe this is something that you would have to use your plastic wrap to hold it down and give that gloss and that press down as opposed to that more wild look. But then when you go to this one, which is supposed to say fluffy or feathered, you have a mixture of your soapy brow and your laminated brow. So it begins to give that more, not wild look, but that more fluffed up look. And then it tapers towards the arch and to the end of your brow to settle down like a laminated brow. So you can achieve these looks depending on how you brush the hair, the direction, and when you place the solution. Okay. And obviously for the laminated brow, you're going to use that plastic wrap to hold it down. Okay. So this is nice too that you can be able to achieve three different looks. And our lash lift kits and our lash curl kits for now, because in the new year, we're hoping eventually to have a brow lamination kit on its own. But for now, the lash lift kit and the curl kit, the components of your lash perm solution and the neutralizer, including your bowls and your brushes, can be used to perform a brow lamination because no glue is needed for your brow lamination. Okay, and the timing pretty quick. It's 8 and 5 minutes, which gives a complete set of 13 minutes of your solution. So you can get like everything, lashes and brows done together with tinting and lifting in about, if you want to top it to 45 to an hour, because while one is processing, you can move to the brows. Then when the brows are done, you move to the lash. So you can, and I'll try and do that today in the webinar to show you how you can, I guess, maximize your time and be able to complete both. Okay. Yes, sodium bromate free. I know in Canada there was the hot list for ingredients that they had to pull out all the lifts from the counters, like from any salons or spas that had sodium bromide, and ours from the beginning, because in Austria it is banned as well. That ingredient, it was sodium bromate free. So plus, okay. You don't always have to apply that plastic film to the brows. I hardly ever use it unless I'm dealing with a client that has really, really, really unruly brows, and these brows don't want to take form. So I want to put the plastic wrap. But remember, the plastic wrap adds heat, so you need to lessen your time of how long you leave that plastic wrap on. So if you're leaving it 7 to 8 minutes your lash perm solution, when you put a plastic wrap on during the lash perm solution, you're docking down the time, and you're lessening the time, and you're only leaving it for 5, because that heat is making it penetrate faster, and you don't want to over process. Okay, so hopefully that helps you out as well. So depending on the look that you want to achieve, that the plastic helps, but also for those unruly hairs. I've had a couple of that those types of hairs. But what I try to do as well is during the half time, like say if I'm leaving it on for 8 minutes, at 4 minutes, I'm gonna go in there and try to brush the brows gentle, because we have our nice silicone spoolies. They're more gentle than the disposable mascara ones. So I will go in there and brush, and by brushing, I can see and I can feel the hairs that have taken. And if there's some hairs that are still being stubborn, I can go apply some more solution into that area. And potentially, if I want, I can put the plastic wrap, because I know that that hair is not taking, but your timing will have to be cut. So if I only had another 4 minutes left, I probably have to leave it only on for a minute with the wrap, with the plastic wrap. So you have to be mindful of that. Okay. What's the difference between these two kits? Are they the same kits with a different name? Okay, so good question. So our eyelash lift kit is for lifting, and it's got its silicone pads. Let me see if I can bring. So when you're doing a lash lift service, you have these silicone pads, okay? And there's a bump. As the size gets bigger, the bump gets bigger. And this is creating, when you apply the solution very close to the waterline of the lashes, this is creating a lift where the lashes shoot straight up to that L shape, okay? So you're getting a lot of length, which is what people really, really like with their lashes. But on the other hand, with the curl, you have these cotton rollers. I'm just going to grab it to show you. You have these cotton rollers, and they are a circumference. So when you think that they are circumference, you know that the hair is going to wrap around halfway through the roller, and that means the hairs are going to take a more of a C curl. So they're going to have more of a shape as opposed to a length. So I like using these. We have 4 sizes: small, medium, large, and extra large. So I'll use these on myself because my lashes are pretty long, that if I do a lift, I just feel it's going to look a little too extra. So I will do a curl, okay? But also for male clientele, if I can't tell you how many times I've had uh, pe- males line up at the trade shows to get a lash curl, because because it's not so dramatic as a lift, and it just gives a little bit of a shape, it can open and freshen up their eyes as well. So a lot of male clientele, their lashes shoot straight down. And remember how we talked about that illusion to give a lift without surgical procedures? Well, if they have that little bit of roundness where the lashes just round a little bit, where it's more masculine still, it gives vibrancy to the eyes, okay? And it gives that freshness. So bring in your male clientele as well to get lash curls. So I always, at trade shows, I always have people asking me, well, what kit am I going to buy? You're going to have the majority of your clientele wanting a lash lift. So you purchase your lash lift kit, and you start your service with that, you market it with that, you get your clients in, and then slowly, you're going to start to see clients that you'd want to introduce the curl to. I know in 2021, and I'm hoping sooner than later, we will have an extra small pad. So with the eyelash lift, the size small pad was not quite small enough for certain eyes and lashes. So they're going to make an extra small. So when the small size pad didn't fit for certain clients, we would have to direct them to the small rollers. And you can see the small rollers, they're pretty small. Okay, so that's why it's really good. So not necessarily you have to buy both kits, but you can just stock up with the rollers. The solutions are the same. And as well, something I want to clarify with everyone here today, I'm going to see if I can reach over and get give me 1 second. Might as well that we're on this slide. I want to be able to answer the, give you guys this information so that you know. So in the lash lift kit, there is the white glue, okay? Starting as of now, the kits will still have this until we get the newer stock with the new glue, okay? So the new glue has a peachy hue. It's gonna be really hard, maybe if I put them side by side. So this one is the new glue because it's got more peachy hue. This is the clear glue that's in kits now. Open stock will have, if your distributor has open stock, they should be starting to bring in the new glue. What's the difference? So the very important thing you need to know for the new year, for 2021, when all the kits will have this glue, it's going to be both for curl and lift. In the curl kit, there is a white glue. This glue does not dissolve fast. So it's been quite a tedious, not tedious, but it's been quite a issue because if you got to put very, very, very little and it dries very fast. So the good thing that this one glue is going to be good for both kits. Okay. So with the old glue, I don't know how many here have done, are doing a lash lift. If you are doing the lash lift, you know by my past trainings that I always taught, first of all, you have to leave 15 to 20 seconds for 10 to 15 seconds for it to dry before you start working it, because if you put it on the back of the pad, put it on the eye when it was wet, it's going to fall off. It has to get tacky. So 10 to 15 seconds. Then what would happen is that the solution would break down the glue that was on the lashes when you rolled them up. It would break down that glue, and then the lashes would start to pop off before your 8 minutes was up. So I had to teach. So I was teaching at the webinars that you have to put that security deposit in the center of the lashes for those new growth, and on the tip of the lashes to put the glue, because the tip of the lashes we never put solution on there. Okay. So with this information, you were able to use this glue. But now with the new glue, you don't have to worry about waiting 10 to 15 seconds. In as fast as 5 seconds, which by the time you put it on the pad, put it to the eye, it's already dry, you can use it. And as soon as you put it on top of the pad to roll the lashes, as soon as you put it down, close the lid, then get your stick, you can start rolling the lashes right away. It is advised though, because you use it because it dries quickly, you can work in 3 sections. So put first in the outer, then roll the lashes, the inner, then roll the lashes, the center, and then the inner, and then roll the lashes. You don't need to put that security deposit. I tested it out and I didn't have to. If you had 1 or 2 lashes that popped off, all you have to do during that 8 minutes when it's done, after your 8 minutes is up and you've removed that solution, you just have to re-glue those 1 or 2 hairs down. Okay, so, and if you felt like you wanted to put a security deposit, put it just only on the tips, because the tips of the lashes never get put solution right onto them. So you know that those tip of the lashes will always stay down onto the pad. But I tested it out. I didn't do any of that security deposit and it worked. So the difference is that it works faster, meaning that it dries faster, and you don't need to put that security deposit. So hopefully that helps with everybody today. Let me see. There was a lot of questions. Can we use a waxing strip to cover the lower lashes? Okay, there's lots of questions. Okay, so yes, it is holding the lashes better than new glue. So everybody's clarified with the new glue, so I can answer the other following questions. So where can you buy the kit? I can't see your name, I'm so sorry, but I have to find out where you're from. At the end, I will have a slide with my contact information. You can email me, and then we can find the closest distributor to you that sells the kits. Can we use wax strips to cover the lower lashes if we do not have a silicone cover? Yeah, you can the waxing strip, or you mean tape, like eyelash extension tape. Because for the lash lift, demonstrate, like when we do a lash lift service, we don't want the bottom lashes getting catched up because it will look really bad and they will be turning into the eye. So we use the black silicone pads to hold them down. If you don't have these, you can use the lash extension tapes. Good to have these black silicone pads because they're multi-use. You can use them to hold down the lashes, and also you can disinfect them and reuse them again. But also you can use them for tinting because it just gives a cleaner kind of look as opposed to seeing all that tint on white pads. So it's dual use, and the fact that you can reuse them up to a certain time helps. Okay. Um, okay, all kits, individual items for effective are available to purchase from Spot On Beauty. There we go. So you can be able to, if you're in Richmond Hill, you can purchase from Spot On Beauty. Okay. What did you say about the couple of lashes that did not stick? Okay, so when I was using the new glue and I rolled up all the lashes, they stayed on. When I put the solution, it stayed on. The lashes didn't pop off with the new glue. But if you find that during that 8 minutes that the one or two lashes pop off, don't worry. As long as those hairs have been saturated generously with the solution, after the 8 minutes is up, you take a dry Q-tip, you wipe it off, and then you can re-glue them down. So just dab it on, press it down, and it will stay on. So that for your neutralizer, when you produce step number two is what's going to form the lashes. It's going to give the shape. So depending on what pad you chose. So you want all the lashes to be down. Otherwise, if they're sticking up, they form to air and they fall down with no shape at all. So just re-glue them down, and it only takes a second. So hopefully that answered your question. Yes, I can show you the black pads. I thought I had. Oh, here they are. Give me about 5 minutes. But yeah. Okay, my model's wondering. I thought this presentation was going to be faster. Okay, so these are the black silicone pads. So you see here's a logo. This goes face up. The shiny part on the back sits on the skin. Okay, because of disinfectants that we're going to be using, and sometimes certain people might use harsher ones. I don't know what everybody's using. I use here in Canada Preempt. In the US, there's Rejuvenate, but they're mild on your items. But some, like alcohol, can start to disintegrate, kind of like the silicone part of it. So if you find that it's not sticking anymore, you can try our protection cream, put a little bit underneath, as it's been told to me that people have used it and it sits down properly. But after a while, you might want to throw them out, because if they start to become losing their silicone, then that's also not hygienic. So, but you get a pretty good wear of them. Okay. So hopefully that helps. That helped you. The black pads, the only time they won't stick properly is if there's still some powder. If the client has oils or powders down here, I find they will start to pop up and not stay. So you got to make sure that you do your proper double cleanse of your eye makeup remover and of your saline solution for them to sit down properly. Now, if you find, as I mentioned, that they're still sticking up and they're brand new silicone pads, if you have our protection cream, I was told, I haven't used it yet because I haven't had really issues with the pads, but I was told that you can put that and it actually holds them down onto the skin. So hopefully that will help you. Just don't put it on top of if you're holding on the lashes, don't put the protection cream where it's holding on the lashes. Put it on the rest of the pad that's going to stay on the skin. Okay. Um, can the black pads be placed in barbicide? I wouldn't leave them soak in barbicide, because barbicide is about 10 minutes soaking time. If they have a spray, like a surface cleaner spray, you can spray them instead. I think maybe barbicide might have a lessened time of their disinfectant, as opposed to the one that you put for 10 minutes into the barbicide jar. So if you have a spray format, spray them. The shorter the time, the better, because you don't want to leave them soaking in. That could uh, make compatibility issues with the product. Okay, so you're very welcome. Okay, so let's go to the next part here on how to, as I mentioned before, consider performing all the services the brand can offer, because here's some features. They are quick, 15 to 30 minutes. Right, with our faster timing of our lash lifts, you can complete them. Under 45 minutes, you can complete a lash lift and tint, including a brow, because while the solution's going on to the lashes, you can be tinting the brows. Right, so they are add-ons, so you can perform. They can be performed during another service, for example, facial, waxing, or even when you're getting your hair colored. Okay, they can and should be repeated every 4 to 6 weeks. So you're having your returning client coming back to your chair. They boost customer satisfaction, because right out that door they leave with results. And some services are low prices, some are high. So it's for every type of clientele. If they can't do a lift, maybe they can do a tint. And I have a slide on some pricings as well. This one here just shows our full range. so that you can see what we have to offer, because a lot of people also don't realize that we have 8 colors of tint and how to mix your colors and create your own little recipe. We have our beautiful, beautiful Browista tools, which I'm going to mention afterwards how you can win a set of 2. And then all our saline, our eye makeup remover, our aftercare, how it's very important to provide aftercare, because I've had clients come to me saying, my eyelashes are fried, like they got it done by somebody and they want to come to me to correct it. And I said, did they provide some aftercare after? Did they put anything afterwards? She says nothing, not even any guidance when she went home. So we have retail item as well for people to take home and use to condition and hydrate and seal that service. Okay, so it's very, very important. So now we go to this slide here. That's going to help you with some pricing. Now, I had to spend some time in checking different salons and more upper scale salons and well-known salons just to get a minimum pricing, because once again, it will vary. And as you can see down here, prices depend on your location, your spa salon, and clientele you're reaching. So we gave a range. So as you can see, I split it down with US and Canada. And when you look at brow tint, lash tint, and what I've noticed too, because of COVID, prices have dropped a little bit. When brow lamination came out, they were charging such high prices for it, over like $150 to get a brow lamination done. But I've checked even in New York, like really higher end salons, and they've dropped it down dramatically getting a brow lamination. So I had to quite research. But here we have brow tint for US, for Canada, but then you start to have your combo. So brow and lash tint. So what we usually try to do is we try to add both services together, and you want to give some kind of a discount. Either there's a 10% off or like $5 off in order to encourage them, because instead of coming in for one item, which was $25 of a brow tint, now you're walking out with them paying for $55 of a treatment, and they got more services done. So that's why it's very important to upsell, and to if they're in for something else, for another service, like for brow shaping, we'll let them know how the tinting, brow tinting, and maybe a brow lift together with the shaping, how much more emphasis or how much more the look will look complete for them. Okay, so try and upsell. And then when you start going to the brow lamination, 65 to 85, in Canada, 70 to 90, then you want to add that combo as well with the tint, because our lash lifts and our brow lifts, if you don't put a tint on them as well, it won't emphasize that service as much, especially if they have lighter hair brows or lighter hair lashes. That tint complements it. Okay, and so forth. So what is brow lamination? Okay, so brow lamination, what it does, as I went to this slide, maybe we weren't able to see it, but this slide here, your brows are being lengthened in a sense. You know how your lashes, when you're doing a lift, they are extending and they're getting longer? Same thing happens with your brows, and you're able to make them look fuller. You can cover some gaps and your brows will look bigger. My brows, if I don't have a brow lamination, they're half the size of what I am now. So I appreciate a brow lamination because it will make my brows thicker, like look more volumed, and that way it can frame my face, as I do have a longer face. Right? So that's what brow lamination is, and we're going to show it today. So if you're new at it, no worries, you're going to get to see it. Okay, so before I start my demonstration, so we talked about the pricing. Okay, here we go. So very, very important. And I'm going to talk about too as I'm doing the demo. Very important that you do a consultation. And a consultation, when your client comes in, have it done 48 hours before the service, because this is going to include a patch test. A patch test is very, very important to see if your client has any allergies to the following: your glues, your lift glues, your lift solutions, your tints, your oxidant mixed together with your tint. You want to find out before if your client has any reaction, then supposed to them sitting in the bed and getting a reaction. And some clients will sit through it and be like, oh, it's fine, it's fine. I think it's natural to feel this. It's fine, it's fine. And then it turns out, because they didn't say anything, and you maybe as a professional didn't ask them how they're feeling, then they have some burn marks, and then they have some kind of puffiness and redness and skin looking like it got burnt. So it's very, very important that a patch gets done, because 48 hours is the maximum time we want to give, because some people can have a reaction in 1 hour, some people can have a reaction 24 hours. So the 48 hours is Very important. And a lot of the webinars, I mean, a lot, even webinars, but a lot of the trade shows that I did training at, that I did education at, I would ask, maybe I had about 100 people in attendance. I would ask how many here do patch test. Only one person would put on, so that's 1%. So that's kind of sad because we want our clients, we want to take care of our clients' skin. We don't want to harm their skin. So it's very important that you do a consent form, finding out if they're having any medication. We can't know all kind of medication out there, how it affects, but sometimes having that little conversation with your client, well, what's this for, this medication? Also, if they're doing any chemical peels or they're taking Accutane, you should refrain from doing any brow lamination or any services because the skin is pretty sensitive and you have to wait literally a month after they're done with these services or taking these medication. Okay, so a patch test even a month after would be very, very important to see if they're still okay and they can go ahead and do the services. Okay. If you can't hear anything, just check your mic. I think everybody else can hear me, or I hope, I don't know if she can see me. Let me just type this in. Or exit. Okay, so people saying, yep, you can hear Shannon, perfect. Maybe just a little glitch with their computer, so hopefully they can see the message if I type that. Or, yes. Okay, perfect. Preparation is very important. So after you've done your consultation, they came in 48 hours and ahead of time. You filled in a consent form with them. You went through that consent form with them. You put the patch test. A patch test can be done on the inner forearm or behind the ear. Behind the ear, there's sometimes a little bit more sensitivity because more sensitive area. So if you want to do it there as well. But for example, like today, if you were to do all the services like I'm doing, I would have one spot of the lash perm solution, one spot of the neutralizer, one spot of the glue, and another spot of the tint mixed with the oxidant. You have to mix together because that's what's developing the color and that's what's going to penetrate into the skin. So that's what's going to give a reaction when they're both together. Okay. Then you start with your service. Then they come in for their service. So whether it's preparation. Preparation is very important. You want to be equipped with these two products here, our eye makeup remover and our saline solution, because these work as a duo. If you have your eye makeup remover from Reflecticil, it's an amazing product. It's a 3-in-1. It's micellar, so it helps with those more if they're coming with makeup and they have waterproof makeup, it works like a magnet, so it can pull out that waterproof mascara or brow filling in or brow gel, because we usually for waterproof makeup, we use something that has oil base, and we can't in this sense because it's going to interfere with the service. And then it's also non-oily. And the third thing is in this little pink box, in this little pink circle on the bottle, it says lash strengthening. I like to say hair strengthening. So I even like to use this after I bleach the brows. I will remove the bleach first with water, but then, or a dry cotton pad, but then I will clean it with the eye makeup remover because it's going to fortify those hairs that were stripped because I bleached them, and it's going to have these amino acids to provide hydration. Okay. So very, very beautiful product. And what we've found out with a lot of people who have said you can use it as a retail item because, or sell it as a retail item because I cannot use a lot of these liquid eye makeup removers because my eyes get very irritated. And I found this one does not. Have how many I've tried, the Reflecticil does not. And same other people have expressed the same thing. Okay. And then the saline solution, very, very important. I use a saline solution in all my services now, whether it's a tint, whether it's a lift for the brows, for the lashes, tinting the lashes or brows, I use a saline solution because I find even with tint, it's very important to use it for your lifts and your curls. But for tinting, I find that it gives a very crisp color. So I like using the saline solution as well. So I always have them as a duo for my prep work. And remember, even if the client comes in without any makeup, you must follow these two steps because you have environmental factors, you have oils, you have sweat, you have dust, you have the pollution. So very, very important that we want a clean canvas. We want the glues and the lashes and the hairs with the tints to all work in unison with no interruption. Okay. And then when they come in for their service after the 40, they're in for their service. You can proceed with the service. You can proceed with their lash, brow lift, lash, brow tint, bleaching, custom coloring, shaping. And then the fourth thing would be care. So right after you're done with your service, you should be using this with the silver cap is our styling gel. You should end the service with a disposable mascara wand, and you should hydrate, condition, and seal in that service. But also you can sell that to them as a retail item, sorry. And how I love this product, I use it every morning because I also can shape my brows with it because it works like a primer. And as well, with my brow lamination, after 3 to 4 weeks, it starts to settle. And I don't want to go yet to do a brow, like I don't want to do my brow lamination yet. I want to leave a little bit of a break. I will use a styling gel to hold some of those hairs up still, to hold the hairs up, okay? So it also helps us seal in the color. If there's somebody of a client of yours that the color doesn't stay too long for them, the tinting, they could use this to help prolong the tint wear, okay? And then we have our gold cap, which is our think of it as a mask. So when you go get your hair done, you shampoo, you condition. So this one, the styling gel is a condition, but sometimes you need a treatment afterwards. So your gold with the gold cap is something that you want to use at nighttime. And it's got castor oil, so it will help thicken the lashes, thicken the brows, thicken the hairs, and it will bring back to vitality. So if I have somebody that has damaged lashes from lash extensions, and they want to get a lash lift, and I look at their lash, I'm like, you know what, they look pretty fried still, they look not in good condition, I will refuse to do the service. I will sell them this product, the Care Balm product, and I will tell them to use it for the next 3 weeks. And then I can bring them in to do this service because it's going to bring back the vitality. And I have a client like that now that she's been dying to get a lift, but the person who did it before for her when they were in another province damaged their lashes. And I always refuse. I can't. You need to condition them. So she's conditioning them with the castor oil, with the Care Balm, until I could redo her service. Okay. And then we have the booster. So this one right here with the holographic art to it. It's really pretty. It helps to boost the growth of your lashes and your brows. I've been using it. I love it. I have to give it a break sometimes because the lashes get a little bit too long or like too branchy. So I know it works. So I use it on some of my gap areas on my brows. So it's dual for brows and lashes. And this is a nice trio that you can sell as a home care kit for your client. Anything that's after a lash lift treatment, or anything like any treatment, no makeup, like no mascara or anything in their brows for 2 to 3 hours later. Water's fine, they can shower, but just refrain from scrubbing the brow area or the lashes areas. Refrain from using an oil product to remove any makeup you have, because you have to wait 24 hours for any oil products to use. So if they purchase a castor oil and just did a lash lift or a brow lamination, they should wait 24 hours before using this. So in a sense, maybe it's nice to tell the people, you know what, leave everything 24 hours. Don't do anything for 24 hours if they're capable of, and leave it nice and fresh for after that 24 hours. Otherwise, water doesn't affect it. Okay. So I have some questions before we get our demo done. So this is my contact. So if you follow us on Reflectasil North America, on Browista by Reflectasil, and then you can like us on Reflectasil North America. If you have any questions, I was going to change that. It's education@cbungroup.com. If you type the Reflectasil one, it still works, but it's education@cbungroup.com. And then visit our website here, reflectaseleducation.com, because all our past and current webinars get put up there. We are trying to make that website more user-friendly, more PDF files. It's going to take a process. I'm hoping by the new year we can have some more items up on there for you guys to download. Okay, let's see some questions before I get my model ready. Oh, can I show you the saline solutions? And do you have copies of forms? So if you need a consent form, you can email me at that email and I can send you a consent form. So, so here's our saline solution. I'm going to show it as well when I'm doing the demonstration, but that's our saline solution. So it's got the orange coloring. Okay, so this is going to degrease. And it's going to allow you to have a very clean canvas, because even the eye makeup remover, we don't want that in the way either. So you're degreasing everything and you're giving it a very, very clean canvas. Okay, so that's the saline solution. Let's see what else. The style, well, okay, which styling gel helps prolong the life of the color? So, oh, your mic glitched. No worries. The glitz and glitchy word is the tongue twister of today. Okay, so there's your styling gel. So it's got a silver cap. Remember, there's a silver cap and there's a gold cap. The gold cap is your mask treatment, so it's at nighttime. Your silver cap is your daytime treatment to hydrate and prolong to help. You know, maybe in the hot season it doesn't last that long. People are swimmers. If you're living by the water and you like to swim or you sweat, you go to the gym, you're a gymnast. This will be a really good product to have to prolong, but as well, it helps with the brow lamination too, to keep the brows formed as the service starts to decrease throughout the weeks. Okay. Yep, they can use it every morning. Every morning they can use it. Okay. The same thing happened to me, Chrissy. Her lashes were fried to the gods. Oh no, by someone else. Took like 3 months to become nice again. You know what? I believe you because it's almost going to 2 weeks, 2 months with this. She's a friend of mine, but has become a client as well because she lived in Quebec and moved here to Toronto. And every time she begs me, Chrissy, I really want you to do the lift. And I said no. And it's been 2 months. I keep on saying no because, first of all, her lashes are going out of control. They don't look like lashes anymore. They look like a branch that's sprouting. Like it's just they don't look really, really well. So yeah, I could say yes and do it and get money, but no, I'm not the type of way. I prefer quality. So I don't want them to suffer more than they had to suffer with their lashes. So give them this product, suggest this product to them, the Care Balm. I can't see your name. Was it Justine? Suggest this Care Balm for them to use it for the next 3 weeks or so. Because if they were pretty fried, it's going to take, I believe you, 3 months. Okay. So try to get them to use that to help even faster accelerate the health and the vitality back into their lashes. Okay. The suggested retail product, we say about 39, if I'm correct, 39, and it varies from Canada and the US, but it's about that pricing, so about $40. Okay. My styling gel lasts pretty long. It's the Care Balm because it's more thicker that might finish sooner. So, and what's the other one called? The booster. The booster I've had it for maybe going on 4 months now, and it's still pretty good because it's a bigger size. It's a 6 milliliter as opposed to the other ones that you get from other brands that are 2 or 3 milliliters. It's a bigger one, so it lasts you longer. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so if you want to ask questions, awesome. I'm just going to do my setup because now we've got to switch out the camera and bring my bed and bring the ring light so you can see the bird's eye view of what I'm going to do. So I need about 2 to 3 minutes to do this. I'm going to disconnect the camera so you won't see me. But if you have any questions, I'll try to look at the screen to answer. Okay? Just give me 1 second. Hopefully everybody is enjoying the webinar and getting a lot of information to bring back with them and try to offer these services. And I guess after the demonstration too, you'll be able to see more techniques. So I'll go over them. I'll explain them as well. Logitech, Logi. Yeah, no worries. Carol. Sorry, I get so small the names. No worries. You will get a recording. That recording though that comes after from Click Meeting doesn't last that long, but then we put it on our website, on our Reflectus Education and YouTube. So if after a week or so you don't have that link anymore, just go check our YouTube or just come ask me and I'll send it to you as well. Okay. No worries. No worries. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'm glad that you were able to make part of it. I had to learn to become technical savvy to learn how to do all this stuff by myself. It took some time, but I think I've mastered it. Okay, let's turn on this camera and see now. In BC, no. So yes, okay. So first question is yes, I will be posting on YouTube. Might take a day or two to load it, but you will get the recording. You should be getting the recording right after this in a thank you email. But the YouTube will take about 48 hours to put up, but for sure. And our Reflectus Education website, we put it on both locations. Do you need to have a certificate to start? You're welcome. You're welcome. Nope, you don't need to because, in Canada, only certain provinces now you have to be registered. But in Canada, as long as you are a professional, as long as you are an esthetician, hairstylist, or so forth, you should be able to do these services. Only certain provinces in Canada that if you're a hairstylist, you cannot be doing eyes. I think that might be not Saskatchewan, Nova Scotia, I think. I can't remember exactly. So you got to check with your guidelines. But otherwise, if you're a professional in the US, different story. In the US, you need to have you're registered, right? So you need to have oh my goodness, I forgot what it's called. Your registration number, but you need to show that you are registered. Okay, so but in Canada, it's a little bit easier. So you don't need a certificate. But I'm assuming in the US too, if you are a professional and you have your diploma and your aesthetic and you're registered, you should be able to offer these services unless your state guideline says something different. Okay, so let's check the camera. And then you guys can let me know if you Oh, there we go. I've done it. Okay. So I'm just going to block it again just until my model gets in the bed so you don't see her if she has to struggle or anything like that. Okay, so I'm going to get my model in the bed. I'm going to grab gloves. Also got to prep myself with my mask. I know there's no heat. It doesn't work. Oh, okay. Because it didn't work last time. I was going to bring a heater. Okay. So your shield, I'm going to put it on the table here. Put it facing up like this. Okay. Okay. So let's turn this on and see if the view is okay. Okay, so she's a little too far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to zoom that in. Let me know how that feels. I'm going to get rid of the present. Sorry, put your head, Rula, just wait for a second. I just want to center it. Doesn't center that well. Okay, if you can, that's a good angle. Okay, so let me make the screen bigger now. So I'll get rid of the presentation. Okay, is that better? Wait, you have no picture? Okay, can everybody see this? Sorry, I thought I closed up the whole webinar. Okay, perfect. Awesome. So if that's clear and good, that's awesome. I can begin. I'm going to get my gloves on. Okay, so while I'm, yeah, sorry, I'm going to, just give us a second. Just give us 1 second. Hi. An important call for my for my model, but I'm just getting my gloves ready. I got my mask on. Getting my gloves on. You know, with the COVID, we want to be very, very careful. We want to provide safety for our clients when they come in because we still want our businesses to keep, you know, thriving during this time. We want them to keep going. So we have to make sure that our protocols that we have for our clients are the best practices and that our client can feel comfortable coming in to get the services done. Certain shutdowns now, I know in Canada now we have a shutdown in Ontario. So obviously not all of Ontario, just certain cities in Ontario. So those cities can no longer perform any face services. So it becomes very challenging for many businesses. Sorry about the wait. I don't know. I can answer questions until she comes back. I'm so sorry about that. Usually my models have to block out their time, no distractions. So let's see if you guys have any questions that maybe I can answer before the model comes back. So when she comes back, she has no makeup on. So I'm gonna do the prep work. And I like to show it to the camera. So maybe now that she's not there, I can show you. So the eye makeup remover. Okay. So you see that little pink circle there? It says lash strengthening. I usually like to say hair strengthening. It's gonna help to give back those hydration and that back into the hairs. Okay. Okay. Model's back. I didn't touch the camera, so hopefully we're all aligned still. Perfect. So is that all good for everyone still? It's clear, you can see. Perfect. I don't run 2 timers. I've learned to have like an internal clock now, so I know when to remove and when my other one has begun. But how you feel for yourself would be comfortable, and you have to have 2 timers, or you have to start your timer right away when you started one brow and remember what the other timing would be, or it's up to you how you fix it with the timers. And I know some of the people, they have 2 timers as well. No certificate, unfortunately, for today, Crystal. We don't, on my webinars, there's no certificates, but the distributors do private classes, and those are, you can get a certificate. Most popular is lash lift. As I mentioned before, the lash lift is really good to start off with because most popular service, because people want the length in their lashes. And then you can start purchasing the rollers on their own because the solutions and the glues are going to be the same. Okay. Okay. For Helen, for the US, if you want to email me your question, I can see if there's certain distributors in your area or who are doing webinars that we could connect you with to be able to do a training. So if you send me an email, that would be awesome. I can try and help you. Right now off the bat, I can't really see. I had to look into my files. Okay, yeah, okay, so email me and then I just lost. Okay, so let's get started, okay? Awesome. So eye makeup remover. So even though, and we're doing both brows and lashes, and I like to have, as you can see today, for the brow lamination, we usually have models that have really thick brows. But it's really nice to show thin brows, what we can do with them as well. Okay, we don't want to forget that clientele as well. So let's start prepping. And I'm going to wipe down both lashes and I'm just gonna bring this a little bit lower. So as I mentioned, even if the client comes in with no makeup, you still got to follow these 2 steps. And then we can do the brows as well at the same time. Okay, so I'm going to start first with the lash lift, and then I'm going to incorporate the brows during my service, my timing, because the lash is what's going to take more time. So I need to apply the black silicone pads at the bottom of your lashes. So we've done the prep. Oh no, we've used saline solution. Let's not forget that. Saline solution. See, almost forgot my most important friend. So we're going to do the saline solution as well. Want a nice clean canvas in order to be able to take all the products nicely, the solutions nicely. Okay. After that, what I like to do, for this I can use a disposable mascara wand, or you can use our Barista tools. They're awesome. Our new Barista tools have the brush on the other end and the spoolie, which is silicone. This silicone spoolie, I love using it on the brows. Very important because when you're doing a brow lamination, you don't want to use anything harsh when you're brushing, okay? So beautiful tools. Okay, so I'm going to, once again, a little hard with the mask on. Okay, we're going to brush just to make sure, just to make them more separated. You know, when they're wet too, they could be clumped together. And you get to see the full scope of all her lashes. You give a little brush to the brows as well. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply that black silicone pad. I see you might have some questions. Yes, Justine. That's what I like doing, showing a thin brows, because I've seen the what it's done for my brows and how happy I feel. So I want to give that happiness to other clients too that have thinner brows. So you'll get to see that live transformation today. What about clients with very little hairs on tails? Would lamination work? So we cut, even though her brows are thin, we can see that she's got from the beginning to the end hair, so it helps. If there were some minor gaps, very minor, the hairs when they get lengthened will cover that. Because if you do that laminated look as opposed to the fluffy look or the soapy look, they're sticking more up. You would have to do a laminated where it's pressed down to cover those gaps. So if there's a lot more gaps, it will, it can do its magic, but to a certain level. So if there's no hairs on the tail ends, what you can do is that after you've done a brow lamination, you can use tinting or like a henna that can stain the skin. So that way you can make a tail end. Hopefully that helps. Okay, so I'm going to get you to look up. Okay, underneath the mask. Perfect. Oops, sorry. I just tripped over the camera. We're going to do the other side as well. Okay, close enough for me. Awesome. Okay. Nope, yeah, you close. Yeah. Is it bothering you somewhere? No. I'm just going to bring this a little bit lower. No, open up again. Sorry. Close now? Okay. Perfect. So I'm going to take the brush again just to make sure that I didn't get anything trapped underneath. If you feel like it's too high here and it's pushing the lashes up, just move it down. It's just a little bit more work because of the masks that we have on. Perfect. And I don't want to miss any of her hairs because I want to be able to get that full volume. So I'm going to bring this one lower as well. Okay. There we go. So we got those pads on her. It's kind of hard to see the lashes. Okay. Perfect. Okay, I answered the question. Awesome. So now that we have that done, we're going to choose the pad size. And I already know I have to use a small size. Okay. So I got my small size pad. Okay, and on the back side, I'm going to put the glue. I'm going to use the old glue for now because if you're new at this and you're getting the kit and it has the old glue, kind of want to show you that one because it's more harder than the new glue. So okay, so I'm going to take my glue. See if you can see it here. And I'm just going to take, and this is the glue. And I try to wrap it in the corner too, so there's no lifting happening. And this is where you have to wait and let it dry 10 to 15 seconds, depending on how much glue you've used. You can wave it around a little bit. And you're going to place it very, very close to the water line. Sorry if I'm in the way of the camera. Okay, very, very, very close. Gonna pull these, gonna go higher the gloves. Gloves are in the way. Okay, we're gonna do the other side, same thing. So you see how I had to wait 10 to 15 seconds? If I didn't, it would just start popping off. So I'm gonna prepare the other one and make sure, once again, you get the corners. Let it dry. Get my stick. I see some hairs that are getting underneath. Okay. trying to get it as close as I can to the water line, so that when I pull the lashes over nice and tight, they can fill up the whole scope of the bump. Okay, so I've done that. Okay, and now what we have to do is put the glue on top. So now, with this glue, I don't do it in 3 sections. Yes, old glue is transparent. I put it all over because it takes time to dry. I can work at it all at once. If you want to do it in sections, you would start first, if you want, from the outer, roll a couple on, then to the center, then to the inner. Okay. Okay. We let that dry a little bit. Now, when you're rolling, you got to make sure that you pull it nice and taut, okay? Because you want the water line to flip over as well. So I'm going to apply some more glue on that section. Are you wearing your contacts still? Mm-hmm. So please make sure as well that your client removes their contact lenses. Then you avoid, like, if you're putting any pressure, it's not shifting their contact lenses. It's just better for the eyes. Okay, so contact lenses should be removed. Maybe have like cups or something if they don't bring their container with them. So you can see the water line flipping over. Now, technically you're able to put more pressure, but because she has contacts, I have to be careful, but you can put that pressure in there, okay? You can put that pressure on there. It doesn't hurt them, but if there's contact lenses, they'll feel it shifting and maybe scratching their eye. So if you work the old glue a lot and you get these white little hairs, I don't know if you see them, that means your glue has dried out. So I'm going to take some more of my glue because I'm not satisfied with the rolling, and I'm going to re-wet it. So she's tearing on the inner eye right there, and that's why this keeps on popping. I just place it back down. I learned to work with it. Okay, let it dry a little bit. Because also when they start to get dry like this, stringy like this, if you keep working it and the string gets more and more, it's going to dry, and all that section that's attached together is going to lift and go and come off. So very important to just re-wet it. Okay. Once again, you're supposed to, with pressure, I'm going to try to go a little bit slower. Also, when they're wet, you can straighten them better. I just wet the tips a little bit so I can maneuver and separate them. So that's a good thing. When they're wet, you can strain them a little bit more. Now she has some shorter hairs there that before I do that security deposit, I'm just going to try and get up on there. Those little shorter hairs. So I'm just going to wet them with the glue a little bit. Let it dry a little bit. That pressure is very important. And getting that water line to flip open over is very important too. So there I see a bottom lash. I'm going to put it back down because we don't want to grab that up. Okay, so it's very important. It's kind of hard, but you can see in the camera the skin of the water line. Very, very important that you see that. So I'm going to proceed with the other side and do the same thing before I do that security deposit. Okay, I'm gonna let it dry. Before I start rolling. So we need that pressure. And I see there's a lash there that crisscrossed. So I'm going to try and get it wet again. So once again, it's getting dry like that. Wet it. So many people ask me, is the stick the only tool you can use? I like using the orange wood stick because I like the one end that's pointy. But you can use any of these micro swabs too to roll. Or hopefully soon after testing, if there's another tool like this that you can use. It's got a metal L shape to roll. It's your preference. I just show what's in the kit so that you know you can do the service with what's in the kit. And then it's your choice afterwards what tool you want to use. So I'm going to re-wet. She does once again have those shorter. Let it dry a little bit. Sometimes thicker, more stubborn lashes. This side has a lot more layers to it, as I can see, than the other side. I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna let that dry before I start rolling it. Oh, sorry about that. I'm gonna let that side dry before I start rolling because I'm gonna show this side. The security deposit I like to do is on the tips because no solution gets put on the tips. So I just dab it on. I don't want to do any rolling. And then on the center, if there's new growth, and try not to put too much glue. Just because you don't want it to be a barrier. So I'm just dabbing it on there, okay? With the new glue, you don't have to do that, okay? So let me just roll this side now. So once you're happy and you look from the side, always look from the side to see that you got all the lashes. Don't look from the top, because from the top they look perfect. And from the side is where you can see if you forgot any hairs. So I'm just so happy with the center there. So I'm gonna work that as well. Okay. One more on the corner. So this time, this step, take your time. And like I said, if you want to work at it in sections, you can do it in sections as well. Okay, so now I took that security deposit on the tips. And then you can put it on in the center for those new growth. Okay, let that dry. And then we get our solutions ready. So still we're doing the lashes yet, not the brows first. So I'm gonna get my solution number 1 ready while that's drying. So my solution number 1, okay, lash perm. Okay, I'm gonna squeeze my pea size amount. Another thing you should know about the lash perm solutions, there was an ingredient change. So originally when you saw the lash perm, when you squeeze it out, it came out yellow, like clearishy, yellowishy, and then it would turn pinkishy when it would oxidize. The new perm solutions come out pinkish. So it's all right. Don't panic that it's been oxidized. They are okay. So I'm going to grab my bowl number 1, squeeze my pea size amount. I will show you in the camera. As you can see, it might be hard to tell on the camera, but it has kind of a pink, it's really hard because the ring light's making it look white, but it has a pinkish hue to it. Okay. I'm going to mix it a little bit. I just want it to spread nicely. See if there's any questions. The new glue adheres better. It does. It does. There's less of these steps that you have to do. Does the glue after application breaks the lashes? Nope, the glue does not break the lashes. It shouldn't have to do that. It's just to hold them down. Okay, so I take a little ball on the tip. I try to like to get a little bit more tip on the tip. And because we rolled it up so nice and tight to see the water line, it's because we want to place it as close to the water line as possible without touching the skin. If you couldn't see the water line, you'd be lifting up the eye, and then you let go of the eye, and the solution gets into the eye, and then it burns. So that's why you need to pull it nice and tight, so I don't have to lift the eyelid. Okay. I'm trying to get it as close to the water line, but where there's still hair, not skin. Oops, sorry. So I don't know if you can tell on the camera, this little one guy stuck up. So I'm just going to try and saturate him as best as I can. And when I'm done, I can re-glue him down. Okay, and then I try to leave the tips free. Because the tips are more old growth. Okay, same thing on the other side. Try to get it as close to that water line, but I can see it, which is awesome. No lifting of the eyelid. Being generous. No need to rush this step either. The new solution is a little bit more creamy, looser. So try to have control with it. That's why I move my brush in different angles so that I'm not putting any into the eye. Okay, and then now is where you start this is when I always start the timing because I know when to remove the first one, but if you want to have different timings or start your timing when you did the first brow, many people start the timing when they did the first the first application of the solution, and then they go and work on the other one as the timer is already going. Okay, so I'm putting my 8 minutes, right? Because step number 1 is 8 minutes. Step number 2 is 5 minutes. And now we can go work on the brows. The first thing before I go to the brows is I always like to look, because I still have some more solution in my bowl. I just like to look into the areas. Oops, sorry. My big poof of my hair is knocking off the camera. I just want to see if there's some areas that I can still get to, but these seem pretty good and saturated. And I don't want to sit there rubbing anything because then we don't want them to lift. Okay, awesome. So now we got the brows. So with our model, I like to do the more of the fluffy. So I'm going to try and lift the top ones. Lift, lift, lift. But when I reach to the brow bone, to the end, I'm going to start to laminate them downwards. Okay? Just to fill any gaps. So because we've already prepped them, they've already been prepped. And I will leave the solution on her about 7 minutes. If I show with the plastic wrap, I can show with the plastic wrap as well. So let me squeeze on my lash perm solution. Remember, from the same lash lift kit, I could use the same solution. Okay, that's step number 1. I'm gonna mix it. Okay, I'm gonna start applying it. Now, another thing you can do too, because you don't want it to cause any skin irritation, you can put protection cream around the eye as well. The eyebrow around, put some protection cream. But I like to go back. If you're not really careful with the protection cream, it can end up going inside with the solution. So I don't put it, but I always have a Q-tip ready that if I feel I want to remove it right away from the skin, I can do that. And that way they feel less irritation. Okay. So be generous with it, especially in areas where she has one sticking up straight up here. And minimize rubbing a lot. You can rub a little bit, but I'm pretty gentle. But have adequate enough solution to apply onto the hairs, okay? So with this perm solution, we are breaking down the bonds, the keratins of the hair so that it can become like spaghetti. When you put it into the boiling water, it becomes workable. And that way with the neutralizer, we can form the new shape of the brows and the lashes. Okay, so the neutralizer is what's giving form. Okay. And as I mentioned, halfway during the timing, I like to check to make sure that the hairs are taking. By brushing it, I can see that they're loose. I'm going to take my Q-tip once again. I don't want to sit on this for a prolonged time. Or if I look at my clock right now, so this is where if you want to have 2 clocks. But I already know on her lashes I have 4 minutes. So when that 4 minutes is up, I have another 3 minutes on the brows. Okay, so that's what I mean. I have kind of like an internal clock in me. I can just remember. But if you need to have 2 clocks, go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'm just filling in any areas that I feel need more. Now, if you felt that you want to use the plastic wrap, I have one with me. You can just, oops, sorry, I moved the camera again. Sorry about that. Very taut. You can lay it on there. Okay, but during my time, I like to go back in there and I like to brush it. So that's how you would use the plastic wrap if you wanted to use it. So I put it nice and tight. But once again, it seals in the heat and it helps the solution to penetrate faster. So in that case, I would only leave it 5 minutes. So after I remove the lashes, I'd only have 1 more minute left on the brows and I would have to remove it. But in 2 minutes, I'm going to check the brows and brush them. I'm going to show you just before my timer goes off for my lashes. Okay? It's a lot of juggling, I guess you could say. Okay. Can you use the solution from the lash from kit for brows? Yep, that's what I'm using. The lash kit is dual. So the solutions in the lash kit and lash curl kit are the same for the brow lamination. If we don't see the waterline, will the lift not work? It won't be as dramatic. It will be a very weak lift because the point is to get the solution very close to the roots so that the hair can push up straight. If you don't do that, the lift won't be as dramatic as what they were expecting. I'm pretty generous with the solution. If their brows are a little bit more thicker and more unruly and their lashes, I go a little bit more. Otherwise, if their lashes are thin and very calm, like they'll take less. I use less in the solution. So it varies. And that's why your application per kit will vary as well. They say you should get about 12 brow laminations per kit and about 30, I say 30 lash lifts. But once again, if you have a mixture of thin, thick brows, layered lashes, you know, and that your solution varies. Okay. If the lashes start to lift, so I did notice that the 2 lashes of hers start to stick up. So what I did is I applied the solution. I made sure that it was generous. The solution onto the hairs. I made sure that it's saturating it. Even if it's lifted up, it's okay as long as solution can get into that hair and break down its bonds. Okay, but after I'm done with the 8 minutes, I'm going to go into I'm going to wipe it off and then I'm going to re-glue it down. Okay, so let me go into the brows to show you what I mean because the time for her lashes is almost up. So I'm going to lift this up, and before I do anything, I want to I'm going to grab the brush, the spoolie, and I want to use our spoolie because it's gentle and it's silicone. I'm just going to go in and see if it's starting to take. Although it's only been about 3.5 minutes, I can already see that the hairs are starting to stick up. See that? They're starting to take form. See? I don't know if you can tell, but they're already starting to take form. So I'm going to check the other one as well. And what I'm going to do, so that's my time up for the lashes. Yes. Okay. I'm going to clean the skin. I don't want any of it on the skin. And if you have some solution still in your bowl, I'm just going to go over the area because I brushed them, right? So I'm just going to go over the areas and just apply a little bit more and leave it on for another minute because I put the plastic wrap. So another minute and a half because I think I took it off a little bit earlier. So I'm just going to lightly put it back on. This area right here that I'm focusing on is the area where there's a stubborn hair. And right there, it's really hard to see with the camera, but that's where I'm going to place more of my focus on. Okay, and then now I can move to I'm not going to put the plastic wrap, I'm just going to leave it. That's why I'm going to do another minute and a half because I'm not putting that heat anymore. It was just to show. Okay, perfect. I'm just going to wipe the skin once again. I still want it sitting there for a prolonged time. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to do the lashes. Dry Q-tip in a soft motion upwards. Just push this one down. So I don't know if you can tell, but one of her lash did pop off. So we're going to have to reglue that down. But in an upward motion, gentle, because we don't want to get any of it in the eye. This area here might give me some trouble because the pad keeps sticking up. If you feel irritation, let me know because when your eye was tearing, it keeps on lifting the black pad up. So now it's mixed with the solution. So just let me know. I'm going to try to push it down. At this moment, I could remove the pads if they're in my way. I'm just going to lift this down for a moment. It's pretty wet, her pad, so she was tearing a little bit in her eye. So I'm just going to remove it so it doesn't cause me or her any discomfort. So I'm just making sure that my Q-tip is pretty dry. Okay, perfect. Now I can go to the other side. Let me just look from there. So this side looked good. I think I spent more time trying to get these lashes on with the glue. So before I do the neutralizer, I'm going to go focus on the brows. Okay, so this is how you're going to monitor your timing. So now the brows have to come off before I put the neutralizer. If at this moment you have time to re-glue down, you can. You can grab your glue, dab it on the areas that you feel, but not too much. So I can see some of her new growth are popping up. So this is what you'll also avoid with the Neo Glue. But if you are working with shorter layered lashes, it still might pop off because they're really short. So you just have to do this step. And it doesn't take too much of my time. Okay. Okay. So before I put the neutralizer, I'm going to remove the brows. I'm going to brush them to see. So if you can tell, I don't know if you can tell with the camera. Oh, sorry. Was my hair covering the screen? I am so sorry. Can you use the glue tip on multiple clients? No, you have to, this glue, because it's down to the end, I'm throwing it away after her. Otherwise, you have to use a disposable lip brush. Okay, you can't double dip with the glue head. But my glue is almost finished. It's done. It's at the bottom. So I'm going to throw it away after her. But always, I have these lip brushes all the time with me. Okay, to use. Okay. Sorry that my hair was in the way. But you can see that her brows have taken form. Now both lashes and brows, the neutralizer are going to stay the same time, 5 minutes. Okay, so let's get our bowl number 2 and squeeze our solution number 2. So if you want to apply on the lashes first, the brows first, it's up to you. I'm going to apply it on the lashes first. Okay, so there's my step number 2. So it's creamier, okay, thicker. And you're going to apply it in the same areas that you applied. Sorry, just. The lash perm. So due to this eye tearing, I do see some lashes that have popped off. If this was your client in bed, obviously I'm doing a webinar, so we have time restraint. You would go back and re-glue those down. Okay? You want to make sure all those lashes are down before you apply the neutralizer. And I'm going very close to the waterline once again because that's where I put the lash perm. That's where the neutralizer is going to go. If you put the neutralizer in areas where there was no lash perm, you're not really doing anything. You're not doing anything, okay, to it. Okay, so we're going to leave that on there for the 5 minutes. And I'm going to go on to the brows. Okay, 5 minutes, and now we do the brows. But before I do the brows, I want to brush them because I want to make sure that I put the solution in, because now that we're forming the brows, we got to make sure that the hairs are in the position that we want them to be. So I'm just going to brush these top ones. So if you were going to do the soapy brow, then all of these would be sticking up. But what I'm trying to do is just the beginning to stick up, but then I start to blend these nice and down to be the laminated. Okay, so apply the solution. And try to make sure your brush is going in the same direction that you want the hairs to go. So don't brush vigorously. Okay, and that's going to also stay 5 minutes. But I obviously know now the time. What's my time? I still have 2.5 minutes of the lashes. So now I start my timing for my brows. So I know I have to leave them another 2.5 minutes longer. Okay. Perfect. Inner, outer? Inner. Okay, I'm gonna get a Q-tip. So if they say they feel a little bit stinging, I just grab a Q-tip and find out, a dry Q-tip, find out where it is. You said inner, right?
Mm-hmm. Middle inner.
Middle, like here?
Mm-hmm.
So I just hold the Q-tip because I only have 2 more minutes left. I don't want to have to remove everything. If they still feel it stinging, you can put some, wet it a little bit, but try and be careful because you don't want to remove the lashes. It was at the spot. Does it feel a little bit better? I think I can put a little bit of water then. There's no solution on there, but I'm gonna put some water. So usually that cool water gives relief. Is that the spot there?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of helping?
Mm-hmm.
The coolness. So the cool water tends to help. So instead of panicking, you have to be really calm during this part because if you were to panic and have to remove everything, then you won't get the result. So I always try with a dry Q-tip and I put it in the area that they feel that a stinging sensation. And if they still feel it, then I wet my Q-tip a little bit, but I'm very careful not to make sure that the wetness gets to all the lashes. Okay. Okay, so she still has 50 seconds on the lashes. Let's see if there's any questions. You can trim afterwards. You can trim and shape after the brow lamination. Oh, no sound. I hope you guys can hear. Some of you say you can. So you do the shaping after. You do the trimming afterwards, because then you want to. If you trimmed it before and then you laminate them, you might have unevenness. So always do it afterwards. Can you wax the brows during the same appointment? Yes, you can. What did you mix number 1 with for brows? Nothing. Number 1 is lash perm. I just mixed it in the bowl. Like I spreaded it. Like I don't like that it was a big clump, so I just spread it with my stick. You don't mix it with nothing. Step number one, lash perm, it's by itself. Neutralizer, it's by itself. And in the kits, you have the brushes and the bowls that reflect this. Okay, I'm gonna get my Q-tips ready because she has 23 seconds. That was the area that was causing me some issue. Okay. So dry Q-tip. Everything we do is dry. Sorry, I'm just in those stubborn areas. Okay, so dry Q-tip. That's how we remove everything. Okay, so lashes, dry Q-tip. Now, in my past webinars, I've given 3 reasons why I don't like tinting on the pad. I'll do it for today. But my first reason is because I want to get the bottom lashes, I guess for time restraint, but I want to get the bottom lashes. And then as well, the pad gets really dirty looking. And then the third reason is if they have blonder lashes and close to the root you can't reach, it's going to show when you remove it. You're going to see still blonde hair. Okay, so I'll mix the tint for now, but I won't apply it yet because I want to remove the brows first. Okay, so that's once again how you're going to prep your timing. So for the lashes, we're going to use blue black. I'm going to put a little bit of black for some deftness. So there's your, oh, where's the camera? There we go. Okay, 2 and 1, black and blue black. I have my palette here with a line in the middle that shows the 2 centimeters. So I'm going to put half and half. Okay, so I got half. So I got half and half. Okay, and I'm going to put my oxidant. I'm using cream. Okay, 3%, 10 volume oxidant cream. Okay, and I'm going to put 15 drops. Got my 15 drops. I'm going to mix it. Give it a good mix. Oh, where's the camera? So it gets nice and creamy. Should be nice and creamy, not too watery. And if you're using the liquid, it's 10 drops. Cream is 15 drops. Liquid is 10. And on my other side of my palette, I can prepare the brows. So I got these 2 slots, which is really nice. And this palette goes on the hand. So I was supposed to mention before, so after the webinar is done, if you guys are going to try these services or so, if you want to win, if you want to win this nice palette that goes on your hand, you can win 2 of them. You just need to tag us in your befores and afters and let us know why you enjoy using Refecticil. So, and then in a week, I can choose from the tags randomly for a winner. Okay, so tag us in your befores and afters at our reflectosol services, any of these services that we did today, and then let us know why you enjoy using it. Okay, and you can win 2 of these wonderful palettes. I love the one that goes on my hands. Okay, so now the brows are done. Okay, so now we can remove the brows too with a, remember, a dry first. Okay. With a wet cotton pad, we can do that afterwards when we're done with the tinting. So I just gently remove whatever excess there is. No, I won't make her brows dark. So for our model, we'll just use the natural brown, but 3 minutes only because they don't want them too dark. So we have to remember how I said to monitor that timing and make sure that you remove it at 3 minutes to check, okay? Okay, so now I'm gonna put the tint on her lashes so that that can start tinting. So we add the black and the blue black to add a little bit more depthness to the color. So without the silicone pad, as I mentioned, you can be able to reach to the bottom of the lashes and very close to the waterline as it goes through, right? From the top, you can reach closer to the waterline. Okay, so we apply this, and remember, after a lift, it's 2 minutes for the lashes, 3 minutes for the brows. So if you can coordinate your timing for that properly, otherwise you might want to do one at a time. It's up to you. Now, I can actually remove her brows in 2 minutes if I feel that it might be too dark to 3 minutes because we did a lift. I can remove them in 2 minutes. And if the lashes were thick or layered, you can just maybe add just 1 more minute, but try not to exceed. Okay, perfect. Okay, now I'm gonna mix her brows. So my timing will go on for the lashes. And now I'm gonna mix the brows. And we're just gonna do natural brown, okay? My 3. Excuse me, sorry, natural brown, okay? I'm only gonna use 1 centimeter because she doesn't have too much hair, so I don't wanna have wastage. And I'm gonna put 8 drops instead of 15 drops because it's usually 2 centimeters of tint to 15 drops of cream or 10 drops of liquid, but if you cut it down in half, it's 5 drops of liquid and 8 drops of cream. I'm going to use my nice brow brush. So you have 2 of these brushes. You have one that's more narrow for the lashes and this wider one for the brows, and it has a spoolie on the other end as well. Okay. So I'm going to mix my brow tint. You're going to apply it. And what I like to do is, once again, I just like to clean around it just to make sure it's nice and uniformed. If you wanted to cool down the brown, you could have added some graphite to it. Okay. I'm going to clean it. So that's for the lashes. My alarm has gone off for the lashes. It's okay if we just spend one more minute on the brows just to make them. Okay. We can remove the lashes now, dry Q-tips, or if there's any questions. What happens after the client washes or rubs her brows? They go back to the shape. So if they did rub their brows, once you push them back up, they go back up. So no worries about that. But like I mentioned, the styling gel would be something good that they would have at home for after the weeks that the brow lamination starts to loosen. They can have a styling gel to hold them up. So lashes have darkened. So I won't add the water and remove the pads until I'm done the brows, which the brows only have another minute. Okay, the other side. So it flows pretty well once you get used to it on what to do first, what to do, it'll start to flow. It might be at first, if these services are new for you, that you practice them individually, then learn to add on a brow tint to a lash lift. Then you can start doing the brow lamination. So practice, and then it only gets better from there. Okay, so I'm trying to take as much of the tint off before I apply water. Okay, but I'm going to want to do the brows as well before I apply the water. Okay, we're almost there. We're glamming them up. Glamming. Okay, dismiss. So I like to put water on my Q-tip and try to use that instead of putting all the water on the brows on a pad. So I'm just going to clean the edges. So if you could already tell, Oh, perfect. You can tell. Awesome. I have to clean the bottom of the part. It's dry first. One end is wet, one end is dry. So on the wet, I'm doing on the skin just to clean up that area so the arch looks nice. Yeah. So one side's dry, one side. I like to do the wet on the skin. From the brows, I try to do dry. So I'm glad that you guys can see it, the transformation. And then when we remove the pads too from the lashes, we can see the total look. Now this is where you would have to see the question about shaping, is where you would shape now. Okay, so her brows, even when I lift them like that, they're all uniform. Maybe one or two needs to be trimmed, but they're pretty uniform if you can tell in the camera. If you have to do some cleanup underneath, some cleanup and some trimming, this is when you would do it after you remove the lashes. Okay, so let's do the lashes now. Let's get the water. What I like to do is wet my cotton pad, fold it in half, place it onto the eye. So it's just water that I put on the cotton pad. Okay, and as that's trying to soak up any other tint, then I can start slightly gentle movements like this, and it just pops off. Okay, and then I like to hold on to the pad and just put the wet underneath and behind just so I can follow along. But I can always grab a new pad, wet it, and clean that stickiness. You can remove this from her eye. So that their eye doesn't stick in there when they open. Remove the other side. So everything comes off really easy. No pulling, no tugging. Oh, you sneeze. Oh,
This one's watering.
oh, your eye's watering. Oh,
No.
it's okay. Is it stinging in the inner?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't wipe this one yet. So let me just get I'm gonna get a wet cotton. She feels a little bit of stinging because it teared some tint into her eye. So I'm gonna get a cotton pad ready with cool water. I'm gonna place it on top so she can have that relief. That cool water helps with the relief of the burning sensation. It's better. Inner, outer, or all the eye?
All die.
If it came to the point where it's just no relief, you can do the eye rinse where you squeeze, put their head on their side, have a paper towel, and you can squeeze with their head tilted on the side, and you can drain out, rinse out whatever is irritating them. Does that feel a little bit better?
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Oh no, I bumped you.
Oh. Sorry, I'm moving this a little bit down because it's covering their lashes. Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys. Okay. So if you open, you can let me know where you might feel a little bit of irritation. This side, I can see it's tearing.
It just needs to tear out better.
It's also the light too that you're looking into. the bright
light.
The bright light. Let me dim it down a little bit so you don't. Where's it? What about that? Does that help now? Yeah? Okay. Let me just get in the corner there. See now? How do you feel now?
That's better.
Better? Okay. Okay, so the last step would be, so let's just make sure the brows are a little bit, the brows are okay, no extra staining anywhere. Turn this way. Oh, this piece of here. Okay, perfect. So the last step would be your styling gel. We had mentioned with the silver cap, okay? I'll try and zoom in more when she has her eyes open with the camera to see if you can see it closer. But I'm just gonna put first the styling gel. Sorry, I'm just gonna. And we're gonna do all the eyes and the brows as well. So this is going to hydrate it, condition it, seal in the treatment, and a perfect aftercare item. Okay, see now when you open? Let me just, this one's really wet. Okay, so let me close up my tube and then we could, okay, show, let me see if I can zoom it in more. But can we already see the difference of her brows? So let me see if I can. Yeah, sometimes also because there was the contacts inside too, it was a little hard for me to put pressure or do things. So she felt a little bit more irritation. So only apply the Q-tip wet, only if you try dry. Because a lot of it happens with the Q-tip, if you put it wet when they're feeling irritated, it starts to lift the lashes because they tear more. So dry first is the trick, okay? Perfect, so let me just put closer. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit closer. Or I think that's the closest it goes. You know what? I'll bring the camera lower. Or is that, can you guys see it nicely? Because I can bring it lower. Bam. There we go. Nice and close. Do you see how it makes the eyes pop as well? Yeah, we can put it to sit up. Yeah. So I zoomed it in now so you can see her brows, and we can put her sitting up to see the camera. I just have to straighten the camera, so don't get dizzy as I'm going to straighten the camera. So they want to see you sitting up. So I'm going to unscrew this if I can. Uh-huh. If you face this way to the camera, lower your head. Yeah. Can you guys, how does that look? Awesome. You guys can see that clearly? Sorry, the camera a little bit blurred. Maybe if I zoom her out a little bit. Is that a little bit better? Can you guys see it? So her brows are much, much thicker now. Much thicker, and with her lashes too. It's a little blurry. Sorry if it's a little blurry. So how do you guys think about that? Giving them that complete service. Perfect. Perfect. They loved it. Beautiful comments. Give some clapping them too. Here, you can see as well. You can move your mask a little bit if you want to see your.
I'm good.
Yeah, you're good. Okay, so I'm going to thank you to the model. Thank you to Rula. Now she's ready to, go party for the holidays. Okay, so let me bring back I see some beautiful comments. You feel more confident doing this. That's awesome. That's the point of these webinars. Sorry, you're just looking at a desk right there. Give me 1 second. Out of this room. Awesome. Okay. So I can ask them. I know we went a little bit over time. It was supposed to be just 2 hours, but we went half an hour more. But I don't mind. I can answer some questions. This is going to be a useful tool for you when you go back. So, wrong side. My hair is a mess. Okay. So I appreciate the one and done. Perfect. Thank you. What is the proper aftercare for the brows? Okay. So the proper aftercare is they can go into the water. The water does not affect them. But if you want to keep it all 24 hours where no mascara, no eyebrow filling, no oils, you can make it for them in say 24 hours. Otherwise, they can shower, but what I say is avoid scrubbing your face, avoid scrubbing your eyebrow area. And if you're going to put some kind of makeup on your lashes and brows after 3 hours, like your mascara, your brow filler, you have to make sure it's not waterproof, because then you're going to be using a oil residue to remove it, right? So just if you want to keep it at the 24 hours, it helps, but the water won't affect it. The expiry date of the permanent neutralizer, 2 months after opening. Okay, so these tubes after opening, 2 months. If they're closed, they have a stamped date on the end. So for example, these ones don't expire till February 2021. Okay, so the date on here is if it's closed, but after opening it's 2 months. The glue is 3 months. Okay. Yes, you can offer the service once you purchase the kit. If you're a professional and in your state, depending on your state, it allows you with your diploma or your certificate that you have from schooling, you can start offering these service right away. 4 to 6 weeks, we say for the dye, and same thing with the tip lift, but I've had cases where the lash lift has lasted past 6 weeks for some clients, depending. It works better for some people, longer. But 4 to 6 weeks is the timing, depending. We like to say 4 to 6 weeks because some people, if they're chemistry, they're oily. If they're more dry, especially for the brow tinting, it will last longer. If they're more oily, their skin texture, it won't last as long. After brow lamination, I tinted the brows light brown and added a small amount of chestnut, and they turned blue-black. I don't know if it's the same person that has told me this last webinar, but I have to test this out because I'm gonna message the manufacturer and see if the chestnut is causing some issues with the solution of the lash perm. Because the second time somebody told me, and I feel it might be an issue. So I have to message the manufacturer because I'm assuming it's a chestnut, because they said the same thing with chestnut. So something in the ingredient, the color dye in the ingredient, maybe is not working effectively with the lash perm solution and creating that different formula, that different color. So I have to check with, if you can send me that email, that question into my email, then I have your email and I can reply back to you once I get the response from the manufacturer. So please, please, please email me that question because it is an important question. My supplier only sells the eyelash perm kit. Is that the kit you use today? If it's this one, it should say lift. So it should say eyelash lift, and it should be this color. The blue one is the curl, and it says curl. Okay, so they call it perm. We used to call it perm, but we don't call it perm anymore because the word perming you associate it with when your hair was permed. They didn't like that. So it's a lift or a curl. So find out if it says curl, if it's lift. If it says lift, this is the kit that I use with the silicone pads. If it's curl, it's with the rollers. Okay. You're welcome. The recording, you'll get it right after here. After we end this, you'll get a thank you email with the recording, but then it gets more permanently put onto YouTube and on our www.reflectacell.education website. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Not the same person. Okay, not the same person. Okay. So that concerns me. That means that there is an issue with the chestnut and the brow lamination. So I will find that for you. Please email me because I want to know now as well. Where is the brush from that you use on the brows? So it's called our Browista toolkits. So they come in, they're dirty right now, but I'll show you it. I have to clean out all my stuff. But it comes in a little zipper bag like this, a little zipper. And it has the two bowls and these, they're called Browista toolkit. Okay, so it's a more wider end for your brows, narrow end for your lashes, and at the end of each brush, it is a silicone spoolie, which I love using for the brow lamination. Okay, so two brushes, one with a narrow edge and one with a thicker edge. Okay, I saw some companies have single packages, so we don't worry about expiry date. We don't have single packages of sachets. It's the tubes only, unfortunately. But just mark on top of, if you market this well, the fact that you can use this same solution for brows and lashes, you're going to go through that really quick. So you won't have to worry about it. But just mark when you open the tube, the first set of tubes when you open them in your kit, mark them with a Sharpie because you don't want to mix them with the good ones and then eventually all four have to go in the garbage in 2 months. Okay, so just Sharpie it. How much for the kit varies. Got to call your local distributor and find out. In the US, in the Canada, it's about $139, $149, US $139, I believe. But you got to check with your local distributor. Those are suggested costs, salon costs. Can you do a curl and lift on yourself? If you're a professional and you want to try it on yourself, you're going to have to do one eye at a time, do it very slowly and very carefully. Okay. Is in the set you have the brushes included? Not in the kit. It's in this little toolkit, the brushes. But in the kit, you have your small white brushes. So in the kit comes these small white brushes that are numbered 1 and 2. Okay. See that it says 1? So you have these in the lash lift kit and the curl kit. Thank you. This made a huge difference in understanding how to do this so much better. I appreciate it. That's why I love doing these webinars. You know, with COVID, I can't travel places. I can't travel to schools. I can't travel to trade shows. So to be able to show you guys in person the techniques. So these webinars have been very, 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 very useful. Where do I get the lift kit in BC? You can order from West Coast Beauty. Sorry, West Coast Beauty in BC. We have several ones, so if you want to message me, we can find one closer to you. Let me know. But West Coast has several locations. Lovely results. Thank you, Phoebe. Thank you for being on here. Okay, gotta go. Yes, yes. Have a good day and say hi to the family. Thank you, Phoebe. How can I prevent skin to not get tint? We have our protection cream. Okay, our protection cream is awesome. It is 3-in-1. What I forgot to mention at the end of the webinar is at the end of my demo is this protection cream works as a protection cream. First of all, it works as well as a eye mask. So when you're doing the bottom, like you want to tint and you want to put the protection papers at the bottom, you put the cream at the rough side of the protection paper, put it underneath, and then that gives an eye mask treatment. But also this works as a massage cream, because at the end of your lash lift, lash tint, any of these services, you can offer a little massage around the temple area, of the forehead, underneath the eyes here. You can do a little bit tapotement, a little bit of drainage, and just spend about a minute or so doing those services, and they will love your service of a lash lift, lash tint, whichever, because nobody does that. Nobody ends it with a nice little massage. So they will be coming back for more and referring to other people. So this is what you're going to use to refrain from staining the skin. Okay, so you apply it all around the brow, outline the brow area, try to get it on the hair. If you get it on the hair, you have to wipe it off because it will become a barrier, okay, to the tint reaching to the hair. Is it okay to shape the first the brows and then perform styling and tint? No, shaping afterwards. If you wax before, what's going to happen is that you're going to have open pores, and when you apply the solutions, it's going to irritate the skin, and you're going to have some kind of irritation and inflammation and redness. And the second thing is, because there's open pores, the tinting will stain more, and you'll have all this spotting. And the third reason you want to shape afterwards is when you tint, you laminate, you see the full scope of the brow, and you can shape it even better. Okay. How can I prevent the skin to not tint? So we said about the protection cream, right? How do I find my distributors in the US? Email me and I'll let you know who's the closest in what state you're in. Okay. Email me for the US. I appreciate you as well. Thank you. Thank you. Can you talk about liquid versus cream to mix the tint? No difference between cream or liquid. They both do the exact same thing. It's just preference-wise and texture-wise. I love the cream because when we were doing trade shows, we only had a chair to do the demos, so the cream stayed more consistent as the person sitting out, so the gravity didn't take it down and get into their eyes or whatever. And also the cream you use for bleaching, only cream you can use for bleaching. And also when I'm doing beard tintings, I like to use a cream because it sticks more better. So it's just preference-wise, although they both do the same thing. People have even said that they felt the liquid penetrated better for them. So it's just preference-wise, but they're 3%, 10 volume, and they do the exact same thing. Okay. No worries if you missed it. You can watch it. Well, in about 48 hours, we'll try and get it onto our YouTube channel and onto our Reflectisol Education website. But after I end this webinar, you get a thank you, and there should be the recording that comes with it. If it's not, my apologies, but you will have it hopefully in 48 hours on our YouTube. But you can always have I can put up the presentation again so that you can just see the my information. If you want to reach out to me, education@cbngroup.com. You don't necessarily have to put the Reflectisol, but education@cbngroup.com. Okay. And remember how I mentioned earlier, if you want to win 2 of these beautiful artist palettes that fit right onto your hand, I love it. I love using this. It stays put. We have a ring one as well, but this is the ones that we're going to have for the draw. Just tag us in your befores and afters, but in your before and after post, let us know why you like Reflectisol, and tag us, Reflectisol North America and Browista by Reflectisol. Okay, and let us know, and you can win 2 sets. Okay. Thank you. I'm so excited. Everyone's excited to try this. This is awesome. Makes me very excited. Fabulous class. Thank you. Would you consider doing a demo with bleaching and tinting? Oh, I did one in October. So go to reflectisoleducation.com, this right here, and you can see the bleaching that I did. Okay. It's custom coloring and bleaching I did as well. I did a course on custom coloring to mix your colors and then the bleaching as well. So check that out. And in the future, I'll do more of these webinars. I take requests. I like to pile them up and see who wants which of the most. So I can do that one first and then follow with the other one. So anything you want to see, I'm trying to see in the new year if I can try and bring the male clientele in and try to show. I did one in the past on beard tinting, but maybe even showing a curl, a brow lamination, because sometimes you can treat unruly brows on male with a brow lamination where you can just relax it. So stuff like that. So we'll see. We'll see for the new year. Any more tips to take care for sensitive eyes? Just as I mentioned, the lighter their eyes are, the more sensitivity they'll feel. So work slowly. Sometimes even the fumes can affect the person, their eyes, they can tear. So as I mentioned, your first step would be dry Q-tip first. A dry Q-tip just to suck up that area that had that solution on there. So you can go into the Q-tip. Only then after, if they still feel irritated, wet your Q-tip. But if you start wetting your Q-tip and touching hairs, you'll release those hairs. So that's why I say dry first and then introduce the wet if they still feel irritated. That way, you don't have to take everything off. But if your client starts to panic and you start to panic, the majority of the time you have to remove it all because you're panicking. So keep calm, take a good breather, coach your client in the bed, let them know it's going to be okay. That dry Q-tip helps, and even that cool little water onto the Q-tip helps to relieve and calm them. Okay? Hopefully that was to answer your question about the sensitive eyes. Thank you, Kim Lee. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you, everyone. This was pleasant. I'm so happy, and I'm so sorry it went over time, but I'm glad that you guys stayed. Once again, the recording, for those that left, they get the recording, and email me if I like to troubleshoot with the fellow professionals. If you feel like you're still struggling, email me. We could do a Zoom one-on-one where I can just show you with my hands techniques or talk to you and coach you. But I'm here to help. Okay? So thank you so much. Yeah, quick question. You can go ahead. Ask for me. Is that where'd the name go? Terry, yes. You can ask me. I'm here to answer all the questions. No worries. But for the rest of you, thank you so much. Follow us on these 2 accounts and keep us posted with your befores and afters. I do this thing called Monday Makeovers on our Reflectisol North America one, and I like to feature befores and afters from all of you all across the world who use Reflectisol. I like to post you on Monday Makeovers and show your befores and afters using Reflectisol. So keep tagging us, okay? Terry, I had a client that was having a reaction with 2 minutes off and she panics, so I removed the solution number 2. So was this reaction with the neutralizer? Because usually the neutralizer does not affect the eyes. It's the lash perm because the fumes are a little bit stronger. So was the lash perm? Okay, the lash perm. So if you have to remove everything, you just got to redo it again. That's why if they panic. So what you just need to be careful is that when you're applying the lash perm, when you have to get it very close to the waterline, having the eyes really taut helps. If you don't have them nice and tight, the eye closes and they all suck together and then the solution gets into it. So having the first thing, the lashes nice and taut, and then when you're applying the solution, don't touch skin. Stop where the hair ends close to the waterline. As soon as you touch skin, that's where they feel irritated. And if you have a client that has hooded eyes or more mature clientele, use the tapes, the skin tape that you use for the eyelash extensions, so that it can stay up. And that way, when the eye starts to droop, it doesn't engulf the pad and so forth, and the solution gets into the eye. So was that something that can help you? With the reaction that they had, usually I've learned to calm down. Even when they panic, I learned to tell them to take deep breaths, and I get cool water right away and I apply in that area. So if they're panicking, skip the dry cotton pad and just skip the dry Q-tip and take the wet Q-tip and put it in that area right away if they're panicking. Okay, but you see with my model today, I started with the dry. She wasn't panicking. I started with the dry. And then she still felt the irritation, so I went with wet, and she was calm afterwards. Okay? You're welcome. I then glued and reapplied and left it on the balancing time. Yeah, that's fine. If their lash lift worked out, if you had to re-glue them again and leave the remainder, perfect.
I've done that before too, and it's worked out. Do you know why other companies promote lash and eyebrow lift solutions separately? Some say to not use the same perm solution for eyelash and eyebrows. I'm just curious as to why. I have to investigate. If it's a brand that you can let me know, I can check and see. Sometimes they just want to keep them separately, meaning they want you to have a different kit for brows and a different kit for lashes. Because take for example our growth boosters. If you go out there, they like to keep, and you buy another growth booster brand, they keep it separately, lashes and brows. They don't like that mixing because then they want you to buy a lash one and a brow one. But ours booster is for both lashes and brows. It's your personal one at home. You can use the same one on your lashes and your brows. So it just could be sometimes a selling technique. Otherwise, all the lash perm solutions and the brow lamination and the lifts are the same when it comes to Reflectisol. So I'm not quite sure with another brand if they've done something different with the ingredient when it comes to brow lamination and lash lift, because the lash perms are pretty similar in all the brands. There's just that one key ingredient like a keratin or a collagen that makes the difference. But otherwise, I would have to investigate on the brand, but I know for a selling tool they want. Like for example, we're going to have a new kit in the new year for brow lamination. So you're going to have a separate kit for brow lamination, separate for lifting, just to keep the components separately, but the solutions are going to be the same. So I don't know if that answered your question. The timings change when it comes to hair texture, right? Because as you can see, when we do the brow lamination with the same solutions, they suggest 7 minutes mostly, not the full 8 minutes, right? So the timing gets lessened. So because obviously in the brows and lashes, the texture could be different, but otherwise just the timing. It's not a different solution. No. Yeah, I don't, not to discredit the other brands, but it sometimes is a selling technique, right? But like I said, we're going to have a brow lamination kit just to keep the components separately. Like for the brow, you might need a different angle brush. You know, for the brows, you don't need the glue. So why have to buy the whole kit of the lift if you don't need the glue? So stuff like that, right? Yeah, but the solutions are both the same. Okay, awesome, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm going to have to head out now too because we've been out here for 3 hours. I don't mind that, but I know everybody else has to go back to their life and take care of kids, family, cook, whichever. So I appreciate your day today, your time today, and I'm so glad you enjoyed the demonstration. I wish you all the best, and I hope to see you guys were wonderful. You kept it engaged, and I hope to see you guys or hear from you guys in our next webinars. Okay? Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.